Welcome to Unstoppable, where dreams turn into plans and plans turn into powerful action. Hosted by Paula Swain, financial planner, business owner, grandma, and queen of reinvention. This show is for women ready to stop surviving and start thriving. We'll laugh, we'll learn, and we'll tackle the messy, beautiful, in-between parts of life that no one really talks about, but we all live through. This is Unstoppable.
Hi, and welcome to Unstoppable. I'm Paula Swain, your host and financial planner with the Financial Center for Women. So today we're going to talk about nutrition, health, and maybe even some female stuff if we get into it with my friend Valerie Penz with Holistic something. I just went blank. See, I needed my notes.
Holistic Health by Valerie.
So welcome.
Thank you, Paula. It's fun to be here.
You are like one of the coolest people I know.
Oh, that's so kind.
You are. You're so sweet. And I love everything you say when it comes to health, even though I probably don't follow it. But it's interesting in the way that how you position it. It's like everybody can understand what you're saying, even though we probably don't follow it. Maybe your clients do. Your clients do, right?
Yes,
Okay.
that's the goal. That's the goal.
Tell me how you got started.
Sure. Actually, this was not my original career plan. I did have other plans that I was pursuing straight out of college originally. I went back to school for the benefit of my kids. So like most people, when you have children, it really changes your life. That was true for me, for sure. So I have two children. By the time my kids were 3 and 1, I had 10 pediatric specialists between the two of them. So they were both born with various conditions. And so we did the doctor's appointments and the procedures and the medications, and it didn't feel like there was any improvement. So I went digging to find alternatives. And the word alternative led me to alternative medicine, which led me to nutrition, which led me to functional nutrition. And I learned how much I didn't know. And so I went back to school just for the benefit of their health. And now you made it a career.
Yeah. Right.
That was not the intention, but that's where it led.
Well, one thing when I was doing some research, it was all about the like healing your cells. What does that mean?
Sure. So it's a pretty intricate system. So it's simple and it's complicated at the same time. So on a cellular level, there are various things that need to happen within the body all day, every day. So we have various pathways and various systems that are there in place to heal. So our detoxifying system, our digestive system, there are various things that are already in place that are designed to heal. The key is nourishing and providing what it is the body needs. It's similar to taking care of a car. So if you learn how to take care of a car, the car is new, you pretty much can beat it up and it will run okay for a certain amount of time. But if you talk about taking care of a car long term, there are very specific things that car is going to need on a regular basis that you're going to have to keep up with. And surprisingly, people know more about taking care of their cars than they do about themselves. But the difference between a car and us, just as humans, we have all the mechanisms in place to self-heal. Cars, I'm not an engineer, but I don't think that's the case. So that's part of what makes us unique.
Because you have to get your oil changed and
regular tune-ups. Sure. Yeah.
But your regular tune-up could be your doctor's visits and your preventative care.
Yes, absolutely.
Your oil change could be putting good, whole, nutritious food in versus
for sure
McDonald's.
Yeah, sure. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Although McDonald's French fries, hey?
We could talk a lot about McDonald's French fries. Be careful about that rabbit hole.
Oh, no, I can't eat them anyway, but
okay.
They have gluten in them, so.
Yes, and dairy. It's in the seasoning.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did not know that.
I haven't checked on McDonald's French fries in a few years, but a lecture I had designed a few years back, I did learn a lot about the French fries, and they have 11 ingredients, and 7 of those 11 ingredients are known carcinogens, so known cancer-causing agents. So we have to be really careful.
It should just be a slice of potato.
It should be potatoes and oil and salt.
Yes.
But there are 11 ingredients. The last time I checked, that was a few years ago. So
I'm sure it
Could be
hasn't
different
changed.
now. Well, it could be more.
Let's hope not.
Could be more.
Let's hope not. So when you're working with your clients, like one of the things that I was gonna really want to talk about is everybody has what they call that leaky gut. And
Sure.
how do you help people improve their digestion?
Sure. So leaky gut would be the layman's term. It's increased intestinal permeability. So what that means essentially is there's little tears or holes in the lining of your digestive tract. And when that occurs, and that occurs from various things, it's caused by medications, poor diet, stress. There are several things that can cause that. Typically, it's multifactorial. But when that occurs, pathogens, food particles, various things then enter the bloodstream. And when that happens, now you're talking about some type of autoimmune response. Now, autoimmune is a very broad term. We're actually now categorizing things like cancer as autoimmune and diabetes as autoimmune, and right? So to simplify, when various things are entering the blood that don't belong there, it causes a problem. There's dysfunction. And that can manifest into any array of symptoms. So that can be mood-related concerns. It can be things coming out in the skin. It could be digestive concerns, any number of things. And a lot of times, multiple symptoms kind of show up all at once.
So I went to the dermatologist a couple days ago because I had this thing on my face, and it started as a pimple. You know, I'm 60 with pimples. I mean, don't you ever get rid of them? Anyway, and didn't go away for like probably over 3 weeks. It is just a pimple. But she was looking at my face, and she's like, you know, I have rosacea. I'm like, yes, I know I have rosacea. And she's like, well, you should eat this, 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 and this, and this. And I'm like, oh my God, like some of my favorites, avocados, tomatoes, cheese, and chocolate. I mean, who can live life without those things, right? So I'm like, that's okay. Valerie's going to be here soon, and I'll be able to talk. So it's like, I think that probably has to do with leaky gut, and something's just not working right, because isn't rosacea like an autoimmune thing too?
Yeah, so rosacea, if you look at clinical studies, is specifically linked to egg and dairy intake. So typically, if I was seeing somebody with rosacea, I would say, okay, so short term, yes, we need to potentially heal the lining of the gut, which you do with amino acids. So that's why a lot of people are all about bone broth, because there's a great amino acid profile naturally occurring in bone broth. Bone broth, not a requirement, certainly, but that's how it has gained some traction recently. But again, to look at clinical study to understand the why, we can see those that have a higher, not to say that eggs and dairy will cause rosacea, but if you are genetically linked or predisposed, a lot of times increased dairy and eggs, they're mucus-forming foods. So any mucus-related condition, right, might be exacerbated by the intake.
Let's not talk about mucus.
Okay.
That's so gross.
Well, to be fair, we actually need a thin layer of mucus. It's just we mostly have
That
an
word is
overgrowth
so gross.
of mucus, and so that's where problems occur. We need some. Some
Okay,
some
what's
is
an
good.
overgrowth of mucus?
Like a candida overgrowth.
Yeast.
Right. So there are various ways to spot something like that. But even somebody with reoccurring headaches, reoccurring sinus infections, probably too much mucus in there. And so we have to reduce those mucus-forming foods.
Stop saying the word mucus.
Truth. Hashtag scientific terms. It's going to happen.
You know what? While you were saying the word mucus, made me think of all the ads I see now for women about the belly weight and stuff, and it being caused from too much cortisol. Are those ads true?
So to paint with a broad brush, sure. Yes, it absolutely can be linked. So it's one of those cycles that are difficult to get out of, right? So cortisol will stimulate more belly production, more belly fat production. More belly fat production produces more cortisol, and so on and so forth. So Yes, there is an intricate link. It's not the only reason. So someone may come to me and they have a perfectly calm, lovely life, and stress maybe isn't the driving factor. I might be able to identify other contributing factors.
So
to
cortisol
the unwanted.
stress. Cortisol stress.
Yeah, I mean, it's not all bad, right? So you need cortisol to wake you up in the morning. So without it, you're not waking up. So we do need cortisol. We need cortisol to help stimulate the healing process. Like there's several reasons why you would need cortisol, but the standard American lifestyle, we're all running on way too much of it, right? So we do need a healthy balance.
Where does it come from?
Where does cortisol come from?
From stress or from what you put in your mouth? Where does that?
So sure, yes. Sorry, that's
it's
a
a
grand
hormone.
question. So right, correct. It's one of your chemical messengers. So we're making various chemical messengers, right? There's an intricate link between our endocrine system and our brain. So that's constantly happening all day, every day, right? This delicate balance of all these hormones. Like I said, you do need some, but most often we're not taking those few moments to calm the central nervous system and to bring those levels down. So again, clinical study would show even something like 90 seconds of, let's breathe, we're gonna take a minute, that can bring those levels down. But if you never take the moment for that reset in the middle of your day or your appointments or your activities or running the kids here and there, whatever that day looks like, those numbers are going to build. And yes, there's plenty of lab tests that you can have done to see where your levels are all day, right? Where you wake up, where it is afternoon, where it is when you're trying to go to bed. So sure, it can contribute to belly fat, but other things are going to contribute to that too.
Right. So basically, cortisol is your stress hormone.
One of, yes.
Okay. And to manage that, it's maybe setting your watch to take a breath, take a minute to breathe every hour.
Yeah. So depending on what your lifestyle looks like, right? So I have clients who are of all types, right? So younger, older, retired, chasing the career, right? So all types. So it looks different for everyone in regards to what intentional restorative practices look like. So that's the key. It has to be intentional and it should be restorative for the body.
So my daughter called me the other day and she's like, Mom, she goes, I think I'm going to take these supplements. And I said, what for? She has PCOS.
Yeah, PCOS.
Okay. PCOS, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually
Polycystic ovarian system.
Yeah. So I did too. But I've been, a long time ago. But anyway, and I said, I don't know. I don't know if that's good for you because everybody sees all these ads about these things that you should be doing. And she's probably going to kill me for this, but she's put on a little bit of weight. But I think that's her stress level. She's works full time, has 2 children, and is going to nursing school. So
that's a lot.
That's a lot, right?
Yeah.
So it's a lot more than going on, and I'm sure her hormones are going crazy because of the PCOS. So how does someone know that, it's tough to see all these ads that are thrown at you all the time to know what's right and what's wrong? And yes, it would be easy to say, everybody go see Valerie, but we also know that that's not possible.
Right. So there's multiple challenges with supplements. So just like medications, there are always going to be challenges to something like that when you've taken it outside of its original plant compound, right? So with supplements, it has to be absorbed. It has to be transported to the area of the body that it needs attention. And then it has to be activated inside that area. So there's 3 spots that something could go wrong. So if you already have an issue with option 1, which is absorption, you're not going to get it's transported to the area and it's not necessarily going to be activated. Now you run into, if you didn't like the word mucus, you won't like this one, but you'll end up with really expensive urine. And you may end up okay. You may just end up with elevated kidney enzymes. elevated liver enzymes, right? Because you're overtaxing your kidneys or your detoxifying system, because everything that you put in your body then has to manage what you've put into it. Additionally, so outside of that, so that all means the formulation has to be correct. Just because something says it has vitamin C or it has calcium, it doesn't mean that the exact formulation, you've taken it out of its original plant or its original source. If you look at the original sources, they're all put together in such a way that like naturally it's formulated in a way most often that your body's going to be able to synergistically use how it was formulated.
So you think if you need vitamin C, you eat an orange?
Correct. Right. Synergistically, everything that's in there is put together well. The other challenge, of course, is the processing practices. So just like any product or any business, the bottom line is how much money can I make on this product or service, or right? So although they're not regulated by the FDA will go in and start testing to see if what's on the label is even an ingredient in the bottle. So periodically they're doing that. Supplement companies know they're doing that. They build it into their budget because they will get a fine. If they don't have what's on the label, they pay the fine, they keep making the product. So the challenge is not only, I'm getting potato starch, I thought I was getting L-theanine, or I thought I was getting calcium, or I thought right, and you're getting rice starch or potato starch. That's most often what's found in these supplements, is that it's primarily some type of potato or rice starch, some type of grain starch is typically what's in there. But the additional challenge is there's heavy metals also that are present. And heavy metals we know are associated with various cancers, cognitive decline. So not only are you concerned, is this a waste of money? Is this going to be difficult on my kidneys and my liver? Is this going to do what I want it to do? But is this actually, am I spending money to put something in that's actually harmful or potentially dangerous?
Well,
there's many issues with supplements.
That's a lot to unpack, Valerie. That's a lot. I mean, because all I kept hearing is, just eat the orange, just eat the orange.
Right, which is primarily one of the reasons why I'm a culinary-focused nutritionist. So I am unique from others that you might see. It is pretty common. You would go to a nutritionist, you do the testing, and they hand you the bucket of supplements and say, I'll see you in 3 months.
Right.
That's a challenge for many reasons. So food is the first line of defense. And certainly we look at other things. Where can we lower the toxic burden? Right? So if someone's vaping or they have other things in their life that are highly toxic based on the levels they are taking in, we'll have a conversation. We have to lower the toxic burden a little bit. And then we'll discuss things like movement. That might mean exercise and fitness. That might mean something else, depending on the person and the condition that they're presenting with or the symptoms they're presenting with. So we look at movement. We look at sunlight, fresh air. We might even look at socioeconomic factors, right? And what else is in their lifestyle that's contributing to either the decline of their health or promoting their health, kind of long term.
I'm thinking, that's so different. It's such a different approach.
Right. And that's also what makes it a lifestyle change versus a diet. A diet, I mean, if you were around in the 80s and 90s, you
Not
were
me.
privy. Okay, well, I was. We were privy to the various diet crazes that were really an all or nothing dynamic.
Right.
You were either on a diet or you weren't. And if you were on a diet, it was likely very rigid, very strict, and it was like, I can't do anything because I'm on a diet.
Well, I still know
now.
people who eat like that. They're like, I can't eat. I'm very structured. Today is my such and such day, and I can only eat this. And I'll be like, okay.
Right. So my approach is very different from that. Typically, when I first start working with a client, I let them know, you might not know this, but you have a health savings account. And they're like, no, my company doesn't offer one. I don't have it. I'm like, no, you do. You have your own personal physical health savings account. And what that is every sip, every bite, you are either contributing, you're either putting into that account, right? Or you're withdrawing from that account. So it's not I've messed up today, or I've messed up this week, or I've messed up this month, or I'll start January 1st, every sip, every bite. And that's one of the reasons why, I would say improving cells one bite at a time, because that's where every bite is going to contribute to your health or you're going to withdraw from that health savings account. We're walking health savings accounts for ourselves.
I like that. I like the way that you phrased that. And it made me want to ask this question. So who's your biggest success? I can't get the words out of my mouth. Biggest success story. Like, who walked into your office and you were like, okay, and this is going to be tough. And then a year later, 6 months or whatever, they can totally change their body.
Yeah. So I'm smiling really big because I'm so grateful to have several of those stories. I have quite a few of those stories. I started my practice in 2015, so I have quite a few of those stories. The one that's closest and nearest and dearest to my heart would be my children, which was why I started this. I can't imagine where they would be now if I had limited myself to the information I had before I went to school for nutrition and I wasn't seeking any of that out. If I only continued with medications and more specialists, and right, it has a place. It has its place. I'm not saying don't go to your specialists. It definitely has a place. But it was not the right path for us. And looking back on it now, knowing what I know now, that would not have improved the conditions and what they had ultimately struggled with. And so watching them both thrive and enjoy doing what they can do now because they don't have their health as a limitation or a boundary. That's not part of the boundary. So certainly that's where my heart is seeing my children be able to thrive because they're both healthy. That, to me, if somebody would have told me that when they were 3 and 1, that would have seemed impossible at the time. Like, how will they ever get to that based on where we were? So that one tugs at my heart the most. Although I've several clients where, yes, it just makes my heart happy when I think about where they are today. So I've had people come to me with infertility, and they have healthy, thriving children now.
Oh. Do you think that, so you're basically saying that everything that goes on in your body, you can heal it through proper nutrition?
I don't know that I would use the term everything because I try not to speak in absolutes. Most often, yes, because the body is designed to self-heal, if you give it the tools in order to do that, if you support those internal systems, that is what the body is going to work to do.
So we talked about rosacea and eggs and dairy. Well, I love eggs. I eat them every day. So now here, she told me no avocado, tomato, chocolate, or cheese, and now you're telling me no eggs. But that's something that can be worked through, right, to heal the body, that I can then enjoy those things, right?
The goal is to not eliminate a bunch of foods because, I have acid reflux, so I can never have marinara, I can never have spicy food, I can never, that's not the goal, right? So if a client comes to me and is expressing those concerns, the goal is to reset what's going on with the stomach acid, reset what's going on with the rest of the digestive tract so that there is no upper digestive distress or lower digestive distress based on the foods. Most often it's about resetting the gut microbiome, and that is the host of bacteria. That's all the bacteria, the good, the bad, the neutral, that lives in your digestive tract. So resetting the gut microbiome is key.
Is that through like a probiotics and prebiotics or?
So yes, although most people, when you say the word prebiotic, probiotic, they only think of a capsule they can take. Prebiotic foods are things like leeks, onion, celery, right? So these are all foods, right? A probiotic would be a series of bacteria, right? So sometimes that might be a supplement. I might start a client out and use a probiotic supplement as the crutches, right? The same as if you broke your ankle, you might need crutches for a minute and until you build your strength up. It's like that in the gut. So sometimes we might use something like a probiotic supplement, not always, but sometimes it calls for that to reset as a helpful tool, as an aid until we can just ultimately rely on food. Because when you eat fiber, those microbial colonies repopulate. It's based on these short chain fatty acids. But essentially, yes, food is a great healer.
So how do you know all that's healing? I mean, because there's really no test.
Well, you follow the symptoms. There are stool tests, another fun word.
Stool's okay. I think it's
Stool's
just
okay,
that.
just mucus. Okay, I just can't say that. Okay. Now, my daughter doesn't like the word moist, so I'm not.
Oh, no, we can't use that word
Okay,
either.
so I'm avoiding moist.
Every woman knows you can't say that word.
I talk about this stuff all day, so clearly I'm not fazed by any of this. And now you've got me throwing what we were talking about. But the testing, right. So there are various tests. We're following the symptoms. You're not going to be testing every day. You also, I mean, we could really start talking about stool more in regards to how you're monitoring that. Yes. So there are various things that you are watching for at home. And then when you come and see me again, I'm like, okay, let's have a conversation about this.
Yeah, I'm
What did
sure
that look
that's
like?
about the whole, is it floating? What color is it? That kind
Right.
of stuff.
All of that matters.
Yeah.
Right. Correct.
Yeah.
Consistency.
I Googled that
Food
before.
particles. Right. Yes. There's all sorts of talk that we could dive into with
That
that.
would be a very interesting conversation.
That one you're okay with.
I know. I don't know what about the word mucus. It just makes me laugh. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe it's blonde hair and blue eyes. I don't know.
Well, I wasn't blessed with that. So, right.
That's why you
might
don't
be
find
it.
mucus
That's right. That's probably what it is. Yeah.
Who knows? Just in a silly mood. So I want you to mention your cookbook before we have to finish this out. But
Sure. Absolutely. So I would say one of my biggest weaknesses is saying yes. So when someone says, you should really do whatever that is, I'm like, yes, I should. Right? That's a challenge. You have to be careful what you say yes to, because that means you're saying no to something else, right? But long before COVID, I was doing a series of cooking classes. And part of the reason that is because I was providing recipes that I was individually writing for clients based on, okay, I want you to make this substitution. Rather than eating this, I want you to substitute and eat that. Oh, I'm not sure if I know how to do that. Okay, I'm gonna write you a little recipe. I'll send that along with your treatment notes for today. So I started doing that more and more. And clients would say, can I please share your recipes? I told my sister, I told my mother, I told my friend, I told my spouse, can I please share your recipes? Sure. And then someone recommended, if you're going to share your recipes, you should just have a cooking class. Okay. So I figured out, did a series of cooking classes. Those were very successful. The guests who came to the classes, you should really have a book. I made these recipes from the class, but how do I get all your recipes? And because at that time, my recipes were really reserved for active clients.
Right.
I didn't really have an outlet to share recipes that made sense. So I learned what it took to get the right team together of editors and graphic designers and what that looked like and all the legal process of having a cookbook published. And so at the very end of 2019, which is a great opportune time for publishing a book, is when you start 2020 and you have a book tour that
nobody comes.
gets canceled, right? So it started from there. It's been a great tool, and that's essentially what it is for clients. It's a series of recipes, a little bit of everything. So there's appetizers, there's party food, there's desserts, there's dinners. It's essentially anti-inflammatory, so it's not one specific style of eating except for anti-inflammatory and certainly supporting the repair genes inside of our cell. There's various things that we understand how important the repair genes are that find trouble and shut it down. And there are various foods that go in and do that for us. So that's really the focus. Again, we want to support that healing, that repair and that healing is super important for longevity.
So how does someone get this cookbook?
So it is available on my website, holistichealthbyvalerie.com. I actually do have an e-version now. There's an electronic version. I'm not the type that would have my device in my kitchen, which is why I originally did not have an e-version. But again, I say yes when someone's like, you should really have an e-version. Okay, we'll figure out how to do that too. So essentially my website is the spot to get it. I am in various shops, a few shops throughout the country, actually. I get to travel a little bit for work as well, so I'm in various locations. But if you haven't found your little mom and pop shop that has my book, my website's the best place to get it.
It's been such a pleasure. And I know I'm going to have you back because we're going to talk about all those female stuff.
But I'm just going to keep saying mucus.
No, she's not going to say the word mucus anymore, but I'll toughen my skin so that I'll be able to not laugh when she says, I don't even know why I laugh when you say that.
I don't know, but it should be fun.
It should be a fun.
Honestly, it should be fun. I mean, I take health pretty seriously. I just try not to take myself too seriously.
It's been a pleasure. So this has been Unstoppable. I'm Paula Swain, and we will talk to you next week.
Thanks for watching Unstoppable. Do you have a question for Paula? Send it our way. To schedule a one-on-one consultation, give us a call. Unstoppable is brought to you by Paula Swain and the Financial Center for Women. Dream, grow, thrive.